InShalla and Ashe, streaming or multi-streaming the universe. Welcome to the Daily Snippet. I am Tonya D, holistic Sha'medium and subtle energetic surgeon, playing with the other world and the otherworldly beings. But let the magic begin. It really is time that we broke that fishing line and stretched it to the breaking point of what is no longer or what will come up. Upcycled. It's like we are in an upcycle. So the moon herself is in the season of spirit and karma. And I wouldn't really say like life and death, that's a whole nother aspect, but the two sides of consciousness. So I'm talking about spirit through intuition or working psychically through the subconscious and how all these little characters come into play. But that brings us to today. And I created Change Your Stars, Uncover the Secrets of the Other World, and the Energy Body Demystified. But I'm here to tell you lots of courageous information is in all of those. However, what I can say is humanity, when I created them, really wasn't ready to open the gate, the doorway into that realm. But today is actually a gate opening day where you might see that. My mom always said I was born before my time. So if you feel the call, the door today is saying the book on the shelf is ready to actually be explored. Mine just happens to be in a virtual or digital reality online. However, you get to play or dig it bit deeper if you feel called and climb into your skin there. But I sense that we are in a cycle to alchemize our emotional field to an unseen, unwavering alchemy, something fresh, something new, like the going where no man has gone ever before or no woman has gone before. So feelings are kind of waving. They're in the flow, just like a stream of water, fast moving and slow moving, just like energetic waves. My morning TikTok divination, my weekend roll, actually brought that into reconciliation as well between the realm of our ancestors and the realm of the physical, between fire and water. But we have a young wood rat day or a Jia Zi, and we also have what's called a water direction in the branches, which is actually juicy. I think I could see some earthly resources come in myself. My online holiday gift vouchers, if you are a subscriber to my musing newsletter, then you know kind of what I'm chatting about. But water for me is a resource. I have 0 water in my 4 pillars chart. So it's the element and the energy that I need to bring balance to my beingness. That's actually why I bought a house with a pool. I need to be surrounded with water because energetically, that energy is, I have none. So water is my support and my resources. It actually makes me a self-made woman. Now you could also be self-made. It really all depends on your day master and all the elemental beings in your chart. If you're curious, go to energy readings at tonyad.tv, which is getting recalibrated herself right now, and just type in 4 pillars for the subject, and we can go from there. So when water comes in, it's really like a blessing from heaven for me. It's like the juicy is as juicy as it gets, but our day could get a little bit overly watered. It's like, when you overwater a plant and those roots get soggy, that's also kind of the energy of today. We have a yin and a yang water, but we do have wood hidden in the month, and that helps. We do have earth surrounding the water, but it's yin earth though. So it's not going to hold up that yang tree. That yang tree is like this wise, been around the block a few times kind of energy. It's like the wise wisdom channel. So we need nature and we also need some fire. We don't have any fire hidden below there. So definitely nature transforms. The spirit of planning and directing. It's our goals, giving direction to our goals, having focus. So just taking the energy from water to communicate your goals. Wood is in relation to the planet Jupiter, which is in Aquarius. So it's at this octave of writing something that appears otherworldly, like what I have in my online venue. So I'm truly grateful that the gate is actually open today. I feel like a third of the world is already in it. Another part of the world is got their barriers up. They're kind of blocking the shift, the transformation, and some are even not sure that they even want to upcycle or upgrade to the spiritual realm and the season that's opening the door for us. So we get into this place through time and space and how this all plays out for each of us on the day-to-day. And also in the other world, holding space for spirit, the powers that be. Emotions could be like cutting cords or cutting the chain, if you will. Yeah, cutting the chains and the cords. So you kind of have to ask yourself, how do you feel about it? And that's kind of the question for the next few days. How do you feel about XYZ? You know, and if you get overwhelmed as if these floodgates are open, the emotions or otherworldly passions, just pay attention if you can to the one at the top of that floodgate, like going over the dam, and keeping your feelings that are juicy, keep them close, and actually release the ones that are no longer servicing you. So I keep a lot of my feelings to myself. They're actually mine. I cuddle them up in like a warm whoopee, a blankie, a whoopee. So you might be sensitive today, emotionally sensitive. And if so, just let it flow. Emotions need healing too, along with our heart conversation. But you really want to feel into them. And you can use them to fill into the gates into the future. The threads become clear. The river is full of clarity. Again, that's the message, not just with the element of water today, that direction, which is north. It's the north direction of a home. Those little critters there, the rat, the pig, and the ox. But it was also in my cowrie shell divination this morning. So really take the path of least resistance, the ones that feel the best to you and also for you energetically. Get in the flow. This is a lot of water that we have in direction. Reconcile, find your inner peace, get to your place of clarity. It's like clearing up the cosmic mud, really. But the stone of the day, I picked sodalite. It goes right along with yesterday's stone, if you tuned into yesterday's show. But sodalite is a meaning of communication and also poetry. So this is where like the surf surges into this frothy broth of blue and white. It's like this salt whipped wonder of sodalite. So this gemstone kind of blurs the line between mineral and also magic. So for me, that is actually mineral in the cowrie shell divination and also nature. Nature actually transforms, and that's kind of where magic happens. So this is not your usual semi-precious stone, but something ripe and actually rare. It's actually as ancient as lapis lazuli, but it certainly doesn't fall short of the fresh and the fabulous healing vibes. It's like this heady dark blue coloring. It's often mistaken for being a piece, literally, of lapis lazuli. But if you take a closer look, you can see the white veins that kind of ripple beneath the surface, marking it out as something completely different. And it takes its name from the ancient Greeks, meaning salt stone. So it's like holding a piece of the stormy sea directly in your hand, but far from being a stone of shipwrecks or bruised skies, sodalite is every inch a smattering of salty calm. So this beautiful blue mineral was only discovered in the 19th century, and it picked up in the remote wilds of Greenland, where lonely mountains kind of puncture the sky and icy waters kind of dazzle us. It's also found in the snows of Ontario, Canada. So you would think sodalite prefers breezes that blow cold, but this gemstone is also mined in the depths of the sultry Brazil, the fragrant shores of India, and the sand dune wilds of Namibia. So it really triggers our survival instinct, although not in a fear-based kind of way. It's a stone that reminds us to tap into our powerful instincts and to strike a balance between the head and the heart so we can always live in alignment with our true authentic self. For those who love to live a life aligned with their creative side, the stone, it really kindles the imagination and encourages all artful expression. So it's our creativity. So if you want to delve a little deeper and unravel the secrets, um, it's a stone for that. It's celebrated as one of the most powerful crystals for rinsing the body of toxic vibes, mostly associated with both fear and guilt. So I think we could actually utilize this right now. It pushes us higher to claim the confidence and clarity and also our emotional intelligence that's needed for enhancing our own personal self trust. So this stone, it really just wants us not to just survive, but to fully thrive to the best of our energetic beingness. There's a bunch of amazing benefits. It's generous when it comes to upping our physical prowess. For starters, it's actually a throat chakra stone, throat center, Vishuddha. So it makes it this exceptional tool when it comes to boosting our communication. And at the same time, it enhances our self esteem and it heightens our inner trust. So it's inviting us to stop being afraid to use our voice and to stop second guessing our own intuition, our inner guidance, that beacon. So if you tend to actually suffer from throat problems, or if you're dealing with vocal cord damage, if you're struggling with hoarseness of your larynx, your issues, to sing, say, Sodalite will soothe all these issues connected to our throat center so we can speak our truth and sing like a bird. It's also great for strengthening our immune system, cooling a fever, lowering blood pressure, and encouraging our body to soak up all the fluids that it needs, not to mention lending a healing hand when it comes to our lymphatic system, which is actually an earth system in the body, the earth. So as far as healing on the emotional, it's like logic, truth, and inner peace. They pave the way for this wonderful emotional well being with this stone. So, just being connected to the heart, that means that all of those who sport or wear a sodalite can feel the calming touch of this crystal. So, when the clouds of the mind are cleared away, this leaves time and space for logical thinking, problem solving, and the problem solving that doesn't come from a pit of despair. So, those who are planning the steps to take in life come to understand that it doesn't matter if the glass is half full or half empty because the glass is always refillable. It's also called the poet's stone. So, it invites us to see the beauty in life and to communicate this grace in the most eloquent of ways. For writers, it's a striking stone to bring to the table as it encourages us to pick up a pen and just let that flow. It reminds me kind of like of automatic writing. So it's this amazing stone for being a muse, especially if you pair it with its favorite creative friends like aquamarine, lapis lazuli, and other shimmering and mystical minded blue stones. It also has a penchant for positive thinking, and it invites all those who wear it to see the best in people. It's like this beautiful blue washed out sky after a storm. So it's that big deep breath after the rain has passed when you feel still and soft and just born fresh and again. So if you find the world is too temperamental for your soul, you could utilize this stone to be the emotional anchor that you need. It's also, just being linked through our throat center. It also has the connection with the heart and the third eye. So it's highly spiritual and it invites us when we wear it to strengthen our connections so they feel the grounding force of the earth beneath our feet, the earth star, even when turning our eyes to look higher into the heavens above through our third eye. So, it's said to actually tap into our pituitary gland, which actually taps into our spiritual perception and serves as a gateway to enlightenment. So, we can put our lofty perceptions aside. We all know that the path to higher thinking comes from deeply knowing ourselves, our true self, our one self, and having the wisdom to see deep into our own soul so we can live out all of our days in Earth school, the Earth plane, within our own personal authentic truth. So you could use sodalite when playing around with your tarot deck or other forms of divination. It also assists with our own spiritual foresight to assist it in unfolding. So it's just an amazing gemstone. It's ripe with crystal healing, and it can assist us to tap into those stashed away psychic abilities, the ones that we hide sometimes, because, sometimes we're not sure. We question ourselves, but, you have to trust and feel into those as well. But the cards of the day, I went with my Sugar Skull Caddy, Sugar Skull Tarot, whatever. But that's kind of what I was filling into. I almost went with my Shadowscapes, but here we are. So the Three of Swords, look at that. It's got a bunch of magical bliss around the Three of Swords. But there's nothing more upsetting than a broken heart, except maybe a heart-shaped skull stabbed by these three swords, right? It's like, are two swords enough? No, let's do three. So it's kind of known as the breakup card. The Three of Swords is another card that no one really likes to have show up or see. But the main definition, it includes like betrayal, heartbreak, and loss. And at first glance, most people think that this breakup refers only to their love life or the love of their life. But that's not necessarily true. It can indicate a falling out between friends, family, or maybe even a business relationship or partnership. So this card, it usually brings like rejection and pain. But also, on the other side, there's always two sides to the coin, right? It could also bring us personal growth if we allow ourselves actually to see that. As things fall away, there's always magic on the other side. It's just we have to release that and let it go. And the next card I pulled, which I think I pulled this, not just in this deck, but other decks, the King of Pentacles. So here we see this cowboy. He's pretty mature there, sitting, riding on his horse. He's kind of surveying his land. He's got his lasso in his hand, the reins up in the air. He's got his, I would say his third eye is beaconing out. He's securely keeping an eye on all the things. Has anybody watched the new Yellowstone? That was like 2.5 hours of juiciness. But I just love that. But this King of Pentacles, he's like in his exuberance. He's got confidence. He's riding his brilliant little horse there. The horse actually has that skull mask on as well. So we can see that this person, this man, he's worked hard to achieve all that he has accomplished. He's going to stop at nothing to make sure his family, his loved ones, anything he cherishes is protected. It's earth, right? But he's holding that big coin proud on his chest, and it almost looks like this big sheriff, like sheriff, the cop thing, symbol. What am I saying, right? But that's kind of what it reminds me of. But when the King of Pentacles appears, it can actually easily be referred to a person. It could be a father, a manager, somebody who's in a position to really assist us financially and also has our better interest in mind. For me, that would be the benevolent benefactor in the other dimension that crossed over in July. I would say July 1st, even though they found him July 2nd, or I did. But so this could also be like a financial planner, somebody who truly, genuinely, authentically cares about you and also your family, your ancestors, physical and non-physical. But the King of Pentacles, it kind of represents achieving comfort and security through our own personal growth while also attaining those goals. It's like you hit one goal, but then you start the next one. So it's really a great omen to have on a day like today. And this card, it often means material abundance and also spiritual wealth. I just interviewed a gentleman to be on my Meet Me for Coffee, which I'm going to be editing that today and posting it on my YouTube channel. He's got a great book title. Love Yourself Wealthy. I think that's the title. Yeah, Love Yourself Wealthy. So that's kind of what the energy, I think, means when I talk about spiritual wealth with this card. And then I grabbed the Ace of Wands, which is juicy in itself, right? Wands literally reminds me of the wand. So it's this harnessed energy, and it's kind of delivering the skull at the end into our very lap where we have the magic. So we can take that skull, that decorated skull, off of the wand and turn it into something fruitful and amazing. So this is a fiery card. It speaks about passion and fresh starts. So if you have a new idea, what is the new idea that you have? And are you excited to really let it out the gate and get it underway? You could easily be starting a new job, be in a new relationship, just depending on the other cards. So being that this is a collective read, I do this every day, I would say it's time to birth the new. And we have the financial earthly backing as well. Mine, again, is otherworldly, really. The swords are the air signs. We all have somewhere in our chart, we all have air. So that would be Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. So it's all about communication and action. And also our intellect, our solar plexus. So I would take one of those, or one each of those, since we have 3 swords of those energies. The King of Pentacles, that's Earth. So that's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So that's like the grounded, practical, and financial. Virgo is a body, Taurus is manifesting, and Capricorn is like the leadership, the authority on things. So if you ever met a Capricorn, they're always about creating financial abundance, whether it's rising or the sun itself, or it could be the moon. And the Ace of Wands, those are fire signs. So that's Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. So that's like working our energy and our passions, our beliefs. It's where we shine, our drive, Mars. But the only thing, that we don't have, which is actually kind of amusing, is water signs. But I really think that's because in the 4 pillars, we got a total water direction. We're in the season of Scorpio, water. We also have the moon and a water sign, Pisces. So the energetic centers that are online, we have the moon in a water sign, the sun's in a water sign. So our sacral is online. It's juicy. So it's the colors of orange, eating an orange, eating squash, orange squash. The shaman's portal is also online. Along with the crown, it's open. It's this beacon of intuition, Pisces energy. So it's going to be kind of otherworldly, like looking through the veil. It kind of reminds me of the galactic ocean as I'm tuning in. So really bring it all in, down through the crown, and exhale through the sacral. You could use the seed sounds of the sacral, the vom, the crown is the ong. You could bring in also ultraviolet light through the crown. It's kind of like this silvery violet shade. Bring that down through the crown and release it out through your sacral, like to just bust out all the feelings that are not resonating with you anymore, that you're reconciling and freeing up. And just feel into those energetic centers as well as you're doing that. So we're cleaning out the cobwebs in the closet so we can really come out of the spiritual closet in a way. So the elemental sounds are the shishing for nature, or the sound of leaves blowing in the wind. I wonder if you can actually Google that sound, the swishing of leaves, on YouTube or somewhere. That really sounds and feels juicy too. So with all of that, an affirmation to get you on your way, it really is time to ascend, be a beacon to a new spiritual realm, the higher octaves of living a life through the veil of spirit and bringing that energy back in. And just tuning into the frequencies of our feelings and our emotions, energy and motion, feelings. So feel the vibration, feel the joy, feel the peace, and feel the love, and also feel the magic that's truly on the other side. I think God universe is benevolent. I also think our ancestors are our allies if we'll connect with them. So it's like having a village and a container, and we're holding the juicy space, the spheres of all of our emotional frequencies and those vibrations, and bringing in the absolute light and the love of spirit through our beingness. So, an affirmation would be like, I affirm I am safe, I am trusting the source, the great spirit, the oneness, my ancestors, even the beings in the other realms, really. And I have reconciled with my ancestors, bringing in a new feeling for a future that we really have yet to explore. I think the future is actually looking juicy and bright. It's just a matter of reconciling those thread lines that aren't in alignment. So, with all of that, thanks for tuning in. And as always, InShalla and Ashe. I'll see you on the other side.